we are going to discuss MS Excel 2016 basic instructions. So first thing we are going to discuss is how to start Excel program or how to launch Excel program. So to launch an Excel program, we just have to click on this icon that is for Excel program. Just click on it, then your Excel program or your Excel software will be launched. When you first time launch your Excel program, will be prompted to select one of these templates. There are so many templates. This is welcome to Excel. You can take a tour. You can learn so many things about Excel program. This is formula tutorial. This is also a tutorial to learn about Excel. Here is pivot table tutorial. Here is get more of pivot tables. Now there are so many things, like there is academic calendar. Here is any year 1 month calendar. Here is any year calendar. There are like project tracker, to-do list for projects, process map for basic flowchart, weekly meal planner, simple monthly budget, expense trends budget, loan amortization schedule, employee absence schedule, expenses calculator, expense report, sales invoice tracker, service invoice, invoice with finance, inventory list with reorder. Here is warehouse inventory, home inventory, time card, employee timesheet, monthly company budget. So there are so many templates, more than 30. So you can use any of these templates and you can simply change the data and you can use it. There is also an option of searching online templates. For this purpose, you have to come in here, and here in this box, you can type in whatever template you want to search. For example, in this tutorial, we want to search a template about budget. So we have to type in budget like this. Then we have to press enter key. Now it's searching the templates that are related to budget. And you can see there are so many templates. There are not only monthly budget or just company budget. There are so many different types of budget templates. You can use any of these templates and change the data and reuse it. On the right hand side of it, you can see there are category and there are budget, business, personal, financial management, monthly, so many categories. And you can use any category. You just have to select that category. If you want to get templates about business, you just have to click on this and you will get templates about business. But we want to only stick with this one. So we are seeing only business templates. If we want to stick only with budgets, we can click on it. Now we are going to see only budget templates. If you want to use any of these templates, you just have to click on that template that you want to use. For example, we want to use this template. So we have to click on it. Then we will get an option of create. Now, if you click on this option, you will get a copy of this spreadsheet and then you can change the data and you can use it. So I will suggest you to explore some of these templates and spend some time with these so that you can be familiar with all these templates. But for now, we don't want to use any of these because we are going to start with some basic tricks. So we have to come in here and we have to click on blank workbook. As we click on blank workbook, we can see this kind of a screen. Now the first thing we are going to discuss over here is the layout, because to understand any software, it is very important to understand the layout. So first we are going to understand the layout. Now you can see over here, there is home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view. These are called tabs. All the tabs are expanded in the form of ribbon. So this is the ribbon of home tab. Now if you want to collapse the ribbon, you have to click over this triangle shape or arrow shape button, and this is insert tab, and this is the ribbon of insert tab. This is our page layout tab, and this is the ribbon of page layout tab. Similarly, this is formula tab, and this is the ribbon of formula tab. This is data tab, and this is the ribbon of data tab. this is review tab, and this is the ribbon of review tab. This is our view tab, and this is the ribbon of our view tab. Now all the tabs are divided into different groups according to their need. For example, this home tab is divided into clipboard group, font group, alignment group, number group, styles group, cells group, and editing group. Now all these groups have same sort of options. For example, this clipboard has all options related to cut, copy, paste, and format printer. This group of font has all the things, all the options, and all the tools that are related to font. For example, we can change the font size from here, we can change the font from here, we can make the font bold from here, we can make the font italic from here, we can underline the font from here from this tool, we can just change the background from this fill color option or tool, we can change the font color from this font color option or tool, we can increase the font size from here, we can decrease the font size from here. This is our alignment tab, as I told you. Repeat, this is our alignment tab, as I told you, and this is the option that is called top align, this is that is called middle align, and this is that is called bottom align. So this is, as you can see, left align, this is our center align, this is our right align. So these are all related to alignment. So these are all grouped in Excel 2016 in a group, and that group is called alignment group. Now sometimes you can see this square button with an arrow sign, and what this button is called, this is called a kind of, you can say, launch button. And why these buttons are there? These buttons are there because sometimes there are so many options that some options doesn't fit in a group. So in that case, what Excel did, it just made a launch button, so you can click on that option or button and you can get more options. But if all the app options are included in the group, then there is no button. Like in this case, there is no launch button. So I hope you understand. This is our launch button, and it is used to get more options. Now before doing anything in the Excel program, we need to know some important terms that are very basic. For example, the spreadsheet is itself. Now each page, you can say, that is called a sheet or spreadsheet. If we want to add spreadsheet, we just have to click this plus sign and then a new sheet will be added. If we want to add more sheets or more worksheets, we can add those worksheets like this. Now all the collection of these worksheets is called a workbook. For example, this workbook is book 3, and this workbook has 3 worksheets. So you can think about just like your worksheet is just like a page and your workbook is just like a notebook. This workbook is a collection of columns and rows. Now these are called columns and they are denoted by A, B. So this is column A, this is column B, this is C, D, E, F, and there are so many columns. And when this column list reaches up to Z, then it starts like AA, AB, AC, and it goes on and on and on. Now we come to our rows part. These are called rows, and in Excel program, in worksheet, rows are denoted by numbers. So this is row 1, this is row 2, this is row 3, this is 4, 5, 6, and so on. So these are all called rows. Now what this is called? Now this is the intersection of this column C and this row 4. So column C, row 4, this is called cell, and this is like a square box. So, and every cell has a unique address. So how we can name a cell? Just think about it. This is C, that is highlighted. On the left hand side, it is 4, that is the row number. So we can name this cell like C4. So this cell is called C4. Now you tell me what this cell is called. You can see up above, this is G, that is the column name. Now you can see here, this is highlighted, and this is 13th row. So the cell address will be G13. Okay. So this is the cell address of this cell. Now let's talk about what is a range. Now range is just like a collection of cells. For example, this collection of cells is called a range, and ranges also have a unique address. So to define this address for this range, we have to just type in, just you can think of what is the cell address of this cell. This is A4. So we have to type in A4. Then what is the cell address of this last cell, that is J4. So the cell address will be A4 through J4. And how we will type it? It is A4 through, that is colon sign, J4. And yes, of course, you can type it in either capital or small letters. So both are acceptable here. Now let's say we write something in here. This is called A1, that is the cell address. And we are going to type, this is my country, like this. And you can see that this is not fitting in this cell. And you can see that this is spilling over this cell, that is B1. Sorry about that. But you are wrong. If we click over here and we start typing something, you can see that we are going to type in, this is my country. And you can see that this content is all in separate cells. But if we want to separate it, if we just want to make it properly visible, we just have to come over here in between these two columns, and we have to bring our mouse over in between these two columns. We have to double click here like this. Now you can see all the content fits in this cell. So this is how we can set or fit the content in the cell. Let's bring it back again. Now, so you have to understand, just when you want to fit your content in your cell, you just have to bring your mouse over here in between these two columns, and when your mouse arrow becomes a two-headed arrow, you just have to double click, or you can just drag it like this, and that will also resize your cell. Now let's say that while we are working on our spreadsheet, we want to move downward. How you can do that? You have so many options to do that. You can just press your enter button and you can move downward. For example, we are going to row 5, row 6, row 7, row 8, and this is all we are doing with the help of our enter button. But let's say we don't want to move in the downward direction, but instead we want to move in the upward direction. Then how we can do that? We just have to press our shift key and hold it. Then we have to press our enter button, and this shift plus enter key combination will do the opposite of enter key. So this is how we can move in the upward direction. Now let's say we don't want to move towards the right side, we just want to move towards the left side. We just have to hold down the shift key after pressing it, and we have to press tab key. Now it will do the opposite of what tab key does. So it will come back towards the left side like you can see there. So enter key moves down, shift plus enter key moves up, tab key moves to the right, shift tab key moves to the left. So shift key does the opposite what enter and tab key does. Another way to navigate through these cells or navigate in between these cells, we can use arrow keys, and that is very simple. So if we want to move downward, we have to press down arrow key as many times we want to proceed. For example, we want to go downward to the 15th position or 15th row, we just have to bring it back to this position. Now if we want to move towards the right side, we just have to press right arrow key and we can move towards this direction. Now let's say we want to move upward direction, we just have to press upward key or top arrow key. So this is how, with the help of our arrow keys, we can navigate through these cells. Now if you don't want to use enter key, tab key, shift key, or you don't want to use even your arrow keys, you can do that with the help of your mouse button. So you have to just click on the cell where you want to put some information. For example, we want to put some information in D6, then we have to just click on D6 cell and it will be selected. But I will suggest you to use your mouse instead of doing your shift plus enter key or enter key or your tab key or your shift plus tab key, because it is better for you. Or you can use your arrow keys, because that is more easy than pressing the combination of shift plus enter or shift plus tab. Now let's say we are going to create a product sales, so we have to delete it. So we are going to press the delete button after selecting the cell. We are going to do the same thing here. So we have deleted this content. Now let's say we want to create some kind of product sales detail. So for creating it, we are going to type in here in A1 cell product sales like this. Then we are going to type in item name, then cost per item, then number of items that were sold, so number of items, then total cost. Now let's say some of the contents of this cell doesn't fit into the cell. So how we can fix this problem? We just have to come in here in between these two columns, and when our arrow turns into a double-headed arrow, we have to just drag it. Or we can do another thing, and that is we can just bring our mouse arrow over here, and when our arrow turns into a double-headed arrow, we can just double click and it will automatically resize it. We can do the same thing for this one. We can do the same thing for this one. We can do the same thing for this one. So all the cell contents are fitted into their respective cells properly. Now let's say that we want to add some item name. For example, this is Dove. Then we want to add cost for it, that is for example 45. Then the number of items that were sold, let me assume it is 100. Then its total cost is 4500. So this is how we can enter the information. Now the next item is Lux. Its cost is 30 rupees and we sold 50 items of these. So we can type in, then total cost is 1500. So we will type in like this. Then our next item is, it is Nirma and its cost is 20 rupees. Then number of items sold for this item is, let me assume it's 30. Then the total cost of it will be 600. Similarly, we can type some other items. Now, after typing in all these information, we came to know that one of the items that we typed in here is wrong in name, so we have to correct it. So if you think, you can come in here and click on it and you can just start typing whatever you want to type in. For example, we want to type in just this one. Then there is a problem. It will completely replace the existing content with the new content, but let's bring it with Ctrl+Z. But if you want to edit it in the cell, then how you can do that? You just have to double click over the cell that you want to edit like this. Then you can type in or correct whatever you want to type in. For example, we want to make it Lux, so we can do it like this. Or there is another option that you can edit it with. You can just press your F2 button from your keyboard and it will bring it in the edit mode, and you can edit or type in whatever you want to type in. So this is how we can edit if we does something wrong in the cell. Here you have to understand a very important concept, because there is a basic difference between being on a cell and in a cell. If you click on a cell, you are on a cell, but if you double click on a cell, then you are in a cell. That means if we are on a cell and we start typing something, it will completely replace the content with new content. But if you are in a cell, then you can edit it, change it, and do whatever you want to do with it. Now let's say this content is very smaller in size and we are not able to view it properly. Then how we can view it? We can just come in here on the bottom right corner of our spreadsheet. There is a slider here, and this slider is called zoom slider, and you have to just drag it here. So if you want to increase the size, you have to just press the plus sign and it will just increase the size of it. For example, if you just want to increase the size of it, we can just select it and we can then increase it, or we can just slide it like this and we can make it as large as is visible to us. So this is how we can increase the size, or we can zoom in. Let's say we want to decrease it or we want to zoom out. So we can either press this minus button, or we can just drag this scroller or slider like this. It will reduce the size, and if we increase towards this side, means towards the right side of the slider, it will increase the size. Now we have created product sales, item name, cost per item, number of item, total cost. Now we need to make it look nicer. And how we can do that? For example, we want to make the text of this bold, so we have to select this cell. Then we can come on here and click on this bold button, and it will bold the size, or it will make this text bold. If we want to change the background for this cell, then we can come in here where fill color tool is available, and we can click on this triangle shape arrow, and there will be some more colors. And if we want to make the background red, we can click on here. If we want to make the background blue, we can click on here. But let's say we don't want to make any color on the background, or we don't want to choose any color on the background, we can again come to here and there is an option no fill. We can click it and the background will be removed. We can also change the text color, and that is the option from font color. We have to just click on here and we will get so many colors. We can choose from these colors. If you want to select some other colors, you have to just come here and you have to click on more colors. Now you will get a palette of colors and you can select any color. For example, if you want to make the text color this one, we can click on that, and now you can see that the text color is this green color. Now if you don't want to make this color green, we can just come in here and make it black again like this. If we want to, we can make it either italic, and for this purpose we have to just select it and we can click on this italic button, and now it is italic. Now if we want to make it underline, we can click on underline, and now this is underline, but we don't want to underline it, so we are going to remove it. So we can click on underline or this U symbol again, and if we don't want to make it italic, we can click on this I button, that is for italic again. Now our text is bold and its font color is black, and there is no background color for this cell. Now we can click on cell A1 and drag it to the last column of data like this, and then in the home tab and under alignment group there is an option of merge and center. As you can see right in here, if you click on here, you can see that all the cells that were A1, B1, C1 and D1 are merged together, and the content that was product sales is in the center position. So what this option does, it just merges all the cells and make the content in the center of the cell. We can do this for other columns. Instead of clicking in between these two columns, we can just click on here and drag it to the last column, that is this one, D, and then we can click on any of these two columns. Doesn't matter what column you choose, you just have to click on between any two of these columns. Like we can click on here, or we can click on here, or we can click on here, and it will automatically adjust it, as you can see. So some of these columns are just narrowed and some of these columns are expanded. So this is how we can do this. And when we resize the columns by this method, it not only affects these two columns that we click on in between, but it also affects all the columns because we have already selected all the columns. So you can say that in MS Excel there is a very good phrase, that is select to affect. If you want to affect something, or you want to change something, you have to first select it. Now let's say that we want these titles like item name, cost per item, number of item, total cost, bold. So we have to first select it like we did over here. Then we can go over here where this bold button is and we can click on it. Now all the titles are in bold. Let's say we also make the item's name bold. Then we have to select it first like this. Then we have to click on this bold button again. Now all the items are bold. So how we made this bold, how we made this column bold, and how we made this row bold. First of all, we selected this row like this. Then we clicked on this button. Then for this one, we also selected this part and then clicked on bold button. So here we learned about row, means what is a row, what is a column, what is a cell, how we can define cell address, what are ranges, how ranges are named, what is a tab, what are groups, what is a launch button, what is a worksheet, workbooks, and how to enter data, how to select to affect it to see how it looks on the screen. We also learned how to adjust column width. I haven't told you one thing, if you have noticed. I haven't told you how to resize your rows. I have told you how to resize your columns. The procedure is exactly the same. You just have to select the row that you want to resize. Then you can just double click in between two rows. If the content height of this cell or this row is greater than this one, then you can just select, bring your mouse arrow over here and click on here. It will automatically adjust it. Or what you can do, you can just bring your mouse over here and you can hold down your mouse left key and just drag it like this and it will automatically resize it. Let's say we don't want to do that. We can just press Ctrl plus Z and it will undo what we have did just 2 seconds ago. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.